brothers and sisters, back by the dope man. Let's give it up for the Tuff CREW band.
My whole fans probably gonna get ya. Leave you in Seward Alley till you stink up. Yup, call me the new Jack Ripper. And get your bitch up out of here for a sicker. And grip her like.
Hi everybody, this is your girl Trish on Star Draft TV. I'm sitting here with your one and only legendary DJ Too Tuff.
What's going on, baby girl? How you doing?
How you doing? I'm good.
Right.
How does it feel to have been in the industry for so long and still in demand?
Well, it feels like a lot of hard work went into the situation, and due to a lot of good friends, loyal followers, and to the fan base who have been incredible. You know, shameless plug right now would be Star Draft Music, my man Lou.
Thank you.
For bringing me on this show. We want to say thanks to you for hosting this.
Thank
you. But I mean, it's been a lot of work, but with the advent of the internet, it's made it sort of easier to become an overnight success in 72 hours. And that was for someone who's never released anything before. So it makes it a lot easier for me, having had 5, 6 albums and a variety of different mixtapes and stuff like that, with the combination of the internet, for me to just expose myself all over again.
Yeah,
and you know, good music is going to speak for itself.
Yeah.
So shout out to Ice Dog, TL, LA Kid, TUFF CREW. Remember?
Since you work with so many artists such as Big Daddy Kane, LL Cool J, Run DMC, who was your favorite collaboration with?
My favorite collaboration was probably with Ultramagnetic MCs, because they were the ones who initially opened the door for TUFF CREW to get our foot into the New York club scene.
Okay.
Through Ultramagnetic, Kool Keith, Said G, Mo Love, we were able to produce like Kick the Ball. One of our hits was Kick the Ball. Even before we made My Part of Time, we had a hit called Kick the Ball that we did for the Crown Rulers. And just the experience of being with Ultra at the Latin Quarters in like 1989, seeing Kango Kid, seeing Rakim for the first time. Nobody even knew who Rakim was.
Yeah.
Seeing Red Alert spinning at a New York club, and we was just young boys then, so it was really something that embedded in my soul and inspired me to keep chasing hip hop.
Okay. Tell your fans and followers where you're from and born.
Oh, well, you know, TUFF CREW representing the danger zone, Badlands, my part of town, North Side, in the building. And I was born and raised in Philadelphia. Shout out St. Joe's Prep, all my prep alumni and prep graduates. And yeah.
So what do you think of StarDraftMusic.com?
Very impressed with the credentials that I looked at on the website. Well put together. The concept is definitely something that's for the up and coming artists. Organized, well developed, and the creativity is just, you know, on point with what I'm looking for. If it was something contrary to my gangster image, then I probably wouldn't be here. But you know, like, this is a Badlands party, because a Badlands party don't stop.
I know that's right.
Shout out Rocky Reyes. Yeah.
Are you a big fan? Are you big on family?
Yeah, I'm huge on family, even though. You know why I'm huge on family? Because they always write me and send me money and send support and answer the phone when I call them from jail. So
okay.
Yeah, I am big on family, because they've never not been there for me. Even when there was times when I might have been lost in the streets or incarcerated or whatever you want to say, on the other side of the positive side.
Okay.
You know, sometimes we make bad choices in our life. And
yeah,
I chose to use them as a learning experience to try to give something back to everybody who gave me love for just listening to my song, because that's like free admiration without you doing anything. People giving you, yo, y'all join us, it's crazy. We love TUFF CREW. Like people from Amsterdam, people from the UK, Europe, France.
If you want to hear. Since you have inspired so many artists, who did and does inspire you?
That's a good question. Who inspires me? You know, I would say the people who inspire me the most are the people that I know have been through major struggle in their life, dealt with the death of a family member or a child. People who have overcome a drug addiction and now are flying the straight and narrow path. people who inspire me are the people who make it to work every day on a normal 9 to 5 and take that money that they made going to work and pay the rent, take care of their kids, pay the tuition, like my mom and dad, like a bunch of other responsible people who have held me down throughout numerous calamities in my life. What inspires me is normal people doing normal things, being responsible and holding up your end of the bargain, basically living life on life terms, and that's what inspires me. You know?
I love the answer you just gave. As a young boy growing up, who was your favorite rap artist?
My favorite rap artist has always been Chuck D.
Chuck D.
You know, because Public Enemy made such an impact on the hip hop scene at that point in time. We didn't even really know what to think about that whole Bum Rush the Show album, and then they followed it up with Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. So TUFF CREW kind of emulated, or at least me as a DJ, and LA Kid as a producer, Ice Dog as a rhymer, Tone Love as a stage presence, and also a writer and a rhymer. We tried to model ourselves and our album concepts after Public Enemy because they were one of the first groups to have songs with raps on them, with rhymes over top of them. But then they also had 5 or 6 different hot-ass instrumentals that would be included on the album. So, yeah, Public Enemy, Chuck D, definitely a tremendous inspiration.
Okay.
Terminator X for the beats and everything like that. Yeah, I love Public Enemy.
When did you and the Too Tuff Crew come out with your first song?
Well,
and how old were you?
There's a group in Miami named the 2 Live Crew, and then there's us from Philadelphia who are called the TUFF CREW. Okay. And then there's TUFF CREW's DJ who is Too Tuff. So, what was that question?
When did you and the Too Tuff Crew come out with your first song?
The first song that we came out with was called Philly Style, and that was released in 1987. It was on So Def Records. Got major play on the Lady B Street B show, and it was basically garbage. Because at that point we were doing like the rappers / new edition thing where we was dancing and we had graffiti written up and down the sides of our legs with the lead jeans.
I wouldn't say garbage because it got you to where you are.
I mean, it exposed us, but it wasn't really what we were about as far as making music, because immediately after we did Philly Style, we met up with Ultramagnetic, we went to New York, we got a taste of what the New York flavor was like, and it was just something totally different than what Philly had ever even experienced, because New York, I mean, hip-hop was invented in New York. So when we were able to touch and feel some of the roots and the soul of real hip-hop and brought it back to Philly, we didn't really come out with the TUFF CREW style that we have now until we dropped Danger Zone. So on that Philly style thing, I mean, it was a commercial release.
Oh, okay.
And it was pretty much guided by our management. Once we were able to gain creative control of our own music, I mean, the sky was the limit.
Okay. Is there any current artists you would like to work with? If so, who and why?
Well, there's current artists that I would like to work with, and I have actually come this close right now to fulfilling the dream. You know, I always wanted to make a track for Beanie Sigel, because he's like one of the most gangster bulls on this earth. I shout out B. Sigel in the Sugar House Casino. I see you rolling them 7s, baby. But we're doing a My Part of Town remix with guitar samples in the back and live guitar by Linkin Park. That will feature, of course, lead rapper from TUFF CREW, Overlord, Ice Dog. Shout out Pete Crakk, because Peedi's definitely going to be on there. My man Peedi Crakk, Badlands.
Pete Crakk.
Shout out DJ Ant Live and that whole squad. So this is going to be Peedi Crakk, Beanie Sigel, Overlord Ice Dog, TL the Teacher from TUFF CREW, and LA Kid, and me on the cut. So this was My Part of Town remix. Basically a groundbreaking song that we're going to just bring back so we can introduce the young boys to something they should have already known.
No. How do you feel knowing how the industry has changed so much throughout the years?
Well,
changed a lot.
Life goes in cycles, so hip-hop goes in cycles too. Initially you had the UTFO, and even before UTFO you had the Furious 5 and Grandmaster Flash and the Sequence and Spoonie G. That evolved into that actually evolved from Planet Rock and a bunch of club stuff, which disco actually became hip-hop, so to speak. You had the transformation from UTFO into like the Backpackers, which was Tribe Called Quest. Immediately after that, you had the NWA gangster influence that came into hip-hop, where nobody had ever used profanity on a record before, and NWA just blew that out of the water. That's where the advent of the parental guidance, explicit lyrics tag came from. You know, soon after that, you had your Big Daddy Kane's and Biz Markie's, the whole Juice Crew thing, East Coast, West Coast, Tupac, Biggie. So it definitely evolved with the flavor of what was going on in the world. You know, hip hop has always been a voice for the youth and a voice for the rebellious youth. But nowadays, so much, I believe that they have tended to start to use hip hop as a corporate means of marketing a hamburger company, a car dealership, a clothing line, and it was cool with the clothing line because hip hop is a culture. It's not just the music; it's a culture. So when you say hip hop, you come with the sneaks and the language, the clothes that you're gonna wear, the style of music that you play, the way you talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, the evolution of hip hop has definitely come far and beyond what I ever imagined that it would be, because we never used to be even allowed to. I mean, there was never having McDonald's commercials with a hip hop themed background. Now it's run of the mill. I mean, even the lottery, even the lottery has a little groundhog ball. Keep on scratching. So you know, shout out to the Pennsylvania Lottery. Send me a number over.
What made you become part of a group instead of going solo?
You know, I was sitting on the sidelines, and I had an MC by the name of MC Mechanism, and we used to do stuff in the house down on 4th and Thompson, at the rookie camp, Hart Park. That's where TUFF CREW came together. So I used to go out there, and Ice Dog was already a neighborhood star. And you know, one day we were out there. They had the little linoleum out there. I had my bass cabinets. My man DJ Yo-Yo was out there. Rest in peace, Anthony Ray, DJ Yo-Yo. And some dude pulled up in a limousine. And that turned out to be Tony Mitchell, who was the creator of So Def Records, who eventually signed TUFF CREW. He said he was putting together a rap group. You know, he handed us some money and some weed that day, and he got with us about 2 weeks later. Yeah, we ended up doing some songs with him in the studio, and about 2 months later, I found myself on stage at the Philadelphia Spectrum at the New York versus Philly battle, and it was just, I mean, from that point on, it was just addicted to hip hop more than anything else in this world.
Do you feel like you accomplished everything you wanted in the music industry?
No, I haven't accomplished everything that I wanted. Definitely not by a long shot. But if I was to pass away tomorrow, I think that my legacy over the years through the music and songs and albums that I've released and my relationships with my fans have cemented me a spot in hip hop that would last pretty much indefinitely. My spot in hip hop was given to me through the love and support and following and generosity of my fans from the United States to Australia to Japan, especially to Europe, the United Kingdom. So my legacy has a little ways to go, and I mean, I always had dreams of writing a book. So I would be basically at the last 3 chapters right now if I had actually written that book. So this is where the success story comes, or the murder occurs. So you know, we'll see how that turns out.
What tips would you give other upcoming artists?
Promote yourself. Blatant promotion of yourself. If you got Facebook, use it. If you got Twitter, use it. Put your name out there. I mean, a lot of artists nowadays are used to the practice of doing shows for free because they don't know anything else, because if no one knows who you are, they're obviously not going to pay you.
Yeah.
But if you get out on the street and promote your name and get yourself with a little team, he takes care of the music, you take care of the rhymes, he's taking care of the graphic artwork, you got your man over here with the video, you got an online board that knows how to fix your computer if your internet won't work, so you need a little team. Any artist out there, promotion is key.
Promotion definitely is key.
And let's try to make something original. You know what I mean? Don't copy Lil Wayne. If you're going to do something, put a little twist on it.
Put your own style, your own swag, right?
I'm not trying to give out too many industry secrets on how I create my stuff.
Okay.
So, you know, the industry is kind of crowded right now.
You don't want to give it all to them, right?
Just a little bit of advice.
So what can we look forward to from you in the future?
Well, you know, I got a stable of artists out there. We're doing TUFF CREW reunion show at the Ticone Billiards February 10th, which is actually in 2 days from this interview.
2 days.
And that's going to be crazy. Shout out to Young Savage, Inner City Hustlers. Lee Mason is going to be there. MP Hosman is going to be there. Dub Mugga is going to be there. The all grand lyrical MC Mechanism is going to be there. Of course, the whole original TUFF CREW, Ice Dog, LA Kid, Tone Love, myself, the Deuce's Detonator is going to be there. That's at Ticone Billiards, February 10th. After that, we're doing a Blackout 2012 with Bobby Dance. That's February 25th. Shout out Bobby Dance. Bob, we love you, man. Shout out Brown Sugar. Shout out that whole dance entertainment and club dance reunion scene.
Would you be performing new songs or?
We're going to do one of our new songs, which is called Back by Dope the Man, and then we're going to give y'all all the hits. Smooth Momentum,
all the hits.
North Side, Open Field Attack, It's Mad, and we're going to end it and blow the house out with My Part of Town. You know what comes after that. So I do have an artist, a little stable of artists, Alcatraz, Death Star. Shout out to my man, Mad Talented, Clever One, Mad Talented. And you know, you check out djtootuff.com, www.djtootuff.com. Check me out on Facebook, facebook.com/DJTOOTUFF. Same thing on Twitter, twitter.com/DJTOOTUFF. And
is there anything you would like to share with your fans and StarDraft TV?
Main thing I want us to share with my fans of StarDraft TV is love. Love for the support and for the generosity of y'all always supporting us throughout the years. And you know, I gotta go through a little line of shout outs or else I'll hear a bunch of stuff when I finish this. So shout out Jason Zodos for mastering the Lost Archive. Shout out Crystal Kennedy for driving me around everywhere and being the love of my life. Shout out to my daughter Felicity and my mom and dad. Shout out to Tracy Charlton for the tremendous job promoting DJ Soulbuck. Shout out to Russ Randolph. Shout out to Cohort. Shout out to everybody that helped with everything getting it put together. We do have a couple new albums coming out, 300 limited edition test pressing vinyls. So we're taking it from the MP3 and we're throwing it back to the wax. Too Tough, the Deuce's Detonator. We love y'all. StarDraft TV.
StarDraft TV, this is your girl Trish. You can check us out at stardraftmusic.com. It was such a pleasure having you on our show.
Thank you so much.
On to the party, cause danger zone from the heart is in effect. So I say, buddy, study, think and learn, dig the move we made. Stunning those that just can't behave. Discipline. Here's a hint, a clue from the crew and Too Tough. All up in you with the formula coming from me, cause no one told ya of a logo, a theory, a saying. This ain't no joke, Jimmy. I ain't playing. I'm hardcore, straight up raw. I'm the overlord. I thought.